Okay, one of the important things that we need to do when we're setting up our fertiliser spreader is just to ensure that it's actually fitted to the tractor correctly. One of the first things that we're looking for is that it's level across the back of the tractor, so that it's not lying to one side or the other, so that we're going to get an even spread out across the working width of the machine. We'd also want to go around the machine and just make sure that it's stable, so that it stabilises, that it's not swaying from side to side, that it's not going to unsettle us in the field. Other items that we'd want to check, we'd want to go down and check on the disc to make sure that they're actually moving freely, that there's no wobble or anything in them based on bearings starting to go or anything like that. The vane settings would want to be free, so that we can freely adjust those depending on the type of machine that we have. Other settings that we want to look at would be our headland control to make sure that it's functioning correctly. So again, we'd operate that from inside the cab. We'd lower it down to make sure that it's coming all the way down into the actual flow of the fertiliser. Inside the machine, we'll be just checking to make sure that our agitator, very important that it's functioning correctly, and so it gives us an even flow out onto the discs at all times. It's very important that we calibrate the fertiliser spreader to ensure that the correct rate is going out. Different fertilisers will flow different rates out of the machine, and even the same fertiliser, having been stored in different conditions, will flow differently out of the machine. So in order to do that calibration check, what we'll do on most machines is we'll actually remove one of the discs from the machine. So taking it out, there may be an adapter such as this which will drop into place, and we'll place a bucket in under the machine. Then we'll get up on the tractor, we'll start the machine, we'll run the machine for 30 seconds. The reason we have the machine running is to make sure that the agitator is going, so that we simulate field conditions and we have an even flow out of the actual fertiliser spreader. We'll collect the amount in the bucket for 30 seconds, and then we'll weigh that fertiliser on our weighing scales to see how much has actually come out of the actual machine. We'll then have to compare the amount in the bucket to what should be coming out of the fertiliser spreader. We'll get that figure either by calculating it using the formula, or most of the apps will now actually give you the flow rate from the fertiliser spreader, so how many kgs per minute should be coming from the machine. If the results are different, then we may have to adjust our regulator setting slightly either up or down to compensate for the different flow from the actual machine. Once we've calibrated our machine and we've gotten all our settings right, it's very important when we get to the field that, I suppose, number one, that we ensure that we're working to the correct height. So either the manufacturer's recommended height, or certainly 75 centimetres measured over the crop. The other important factor is that we're driving at the correct speed and that we're working to the correct working width. So that may even mean marking out the field with cones or bollards or something like that, or maybe possible using a GPS to ensure that we're working to the correct working width.